Tēnā koutou, and welcome to this video on how to use the map viewer for Plan Change 120, Housing Intensification and Resilience. This map viewer is part of Plan Change 120. Plan Change 120 has two purposes. One is to enable intensification of urban Auckland as required by the Resource Management Act, and the second is to strengthen the management of natural hazard risks across the entire Auckland region. To understand differences between what Plan Change 120 proposes and what is included in the Auckland Unitary Plan, you will need to open the Auckland Unitary Plan maps too. The Council is proposing lots of mapping changes, and looking at both map viewers is the best way to understand the differences. You can access the viewer through the Auckland Council website. From the homepage, search for Plan Change 120 in the search bar. In the search key results, click on the box that says PC 120 Housing Intensification and Resilience. This will take you to the web page for PC 120, where you will find a link to open the viewer. We recommend you look at the map viewer on a computer, not your mobile device. The information is easier to interpret on a larger screen, and some older devices are slower to display all the mapping. The viewer will open in a new web page. You will see a pop-up box with terms and conditions. It includes important information which may affect your understanding of how Plan Change 120 applies to your property, so do take the time to read through this. You can then click on the box to agree to the terms and conditions and then click OK. You will now have access to the Plan Change 120 viewer. Down the left-hand side of the screen, you will find three tabs. Shortly, we'll show you how to use the Layers tab to display the different layers of information you may be interested in. We recommend you open the map legend before you get started. It is helpful having the legend available in a separate window while you explore the map viewer. The Information tab automatically opens when you open up the viewer. You'll find key information about Plan Change 120 and the map viewer here. This is also the place to access a user guide for this map viewer and the printable legend. Note, you may need to scroll down using the arrow in the bottom right-hand corner of the Plan Change description in order to see the printable legend. Click on the blue hyperlink to open the full legend in a separate window. Returning to the remaining tabs, the Layers tab lists the spatial layers proposed in Plan Change 120. When you click on this tab, you will see the layers are split into 4 groups. To display the information available under each group, you need to click on the arrow on the left-hand side of the list. The first group notes where Plan Change 120 has limited application. The No Rezoning proposal in red hatching is applied to properties excluded from rezoning through Plan Change 120 because these areas are already affected by a different plan change. Plan Change 120 may propose changing the rules in these zones, but does not change the zoning of the properties in these areas. The No Intensification proposal in black hatching is applied where no changes to zones or their rules are proposed. This proposal applies to the City Centre Zone, the Metropolitan Centre Zone, and the Hauraki Gulf Islands. Areas outside Auckland's urban environment are also excluded from rezoning and intensification. More information is shown in the mapping legend. And as a reminder, natural hazard risk changes apply region-wide. The second group in the Layers tab lists the spatially identified qualifying matters and planning matters. Not all qualifying matters can be shown on a map. Here, you can select any or all of the qualifying matters proposed in Plan Change 120 that you wish to see in the viewer. Click on the empty box next to the qualifying matter to display the information. You can have multiple layers displayed at once. When a layer is showing on the map, the box will be ticked. If the qualifying matter shows faintly in the layer list, it means the scale of the map image is too small to show the information. You need to zoom in closer until the layer is visible. In this example, you will see that the cohesive zoning response and the historic heritage overlay layers are not yet visible, given the scale. If you click on the ellipsis, the 3 dots, next to a layer, you can change the transparency of the layer, allowing you to see what is underneath. Changing the transparency can be useful if you have lots of layers turned on at once. Clicking on the ellipsis opens a pop-up box. You can adjust the slider bar to the transparency that suits you. Remember not to leave the transparency at 100%. You will make the layer invisible, but it will still be turned on. The third grouping, called Management Layers, shows the principal intensification methods used in Plan Change 120. Some layers are needed to implement the government's National Policy Statement for Urban Development. These include rapid transit stops, walkable catchments, and a layer called Adjacent to Centre Policy 3D. Like the qualifying matters layers, you can select and deselect these layers. Keeping these management layers selected helps provide an overview of the spatial changes included in Plan Change 120. The last group contains the zoning. The residential zoning proposed in Plan Change 120 is shown in the map viewer. Operative zoning is shown for context. This is a good example of the need to have the Auckland Unitary Plan map viewer open as well, so you can see what is proposed to change and what is proposed to stay the same. It is important to note the Council is proposing zoning changes in the Plan Change 120 viewer to the residential zones only. The third tab on the left-hand side of the viewer is the Legend tab. Click on it to display the full list of symbols and colours for spatial layers available in the Plan Change 120 map viewer. This is the same information as the separate legend we opened earlier. To print the legend, click the box highlighted in the left panel. Use the plus and minus buttons in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen to see the map at different scales. You can also do this by using the scroller on your mouse. If you are interested in a particular property, simply type the address into the search bar. As you are typing, a drop-down menu will appear. Click on the address that you are interested in viewing from the drop-down menu. The map will then automatically take you to that property. Another way is to simply zoom into the map until the property boundaries become visible, and then click on the property. A property summary box will pop up either by typing in a property address or by clicking on a property. A property summary box lists the zone, management layers, and any spatially identified qualifying matters that apply to the property. The property summary is a key tool. We want you to know some spatial information is only available within the property summary. Information about this is included in the Plan Change 120 viewer in the Information tab, in the Terms and Conditions, and in the full legend. For example, some properties are proposed to be recognised as having a floodplain qualifying matter, but are not shown when the floodplain qualifying matter is selected under the Layers tab. The relevant property summaries record when this is the case. Additionally, some properties are located within the amended Special Character Area Overlay. Not all Special Character Area Overlay rules apply to every property within the overlay. Therefore, the property summary records the application of some of these rules. Also, a number of properties have greater or lesser building heights applied to them than what generally applies within the zone. This is shown using a height variation control. Most frequently, these are found within walkable catchments from rapid transit stops, the city centre, and metropolitan centres. Some height variation controls include an asterisk. This means that the site may be located within a view shaft qualifying matter area, and the height shown may not be achievable. Council also proposes zoning changes to some residential properties to provide a consistent neighbourhood approach. These changes have come about after the application of other methods in Plan Change 120. Where this occurs within the areas described earlier as rapid transit stops, walkable catchments and adjacent to centres, then the properties affected are outlined in purple. This is called the Cohesive Zoning Response Qualifying Matter. You can find out more about this and other qualifying matters in the fact sheets being published with Plan Change 120. The Map Viewer has 3 additional tools. The Help tool provides a link to a written guide on how to use the viewer. The Print tool will generate an A4 size colour map that corresponds to what you have displayed on your screen. You can change the settings in the pop-up screen prior to printing. Once ready, click Print. The Draw tool allows you to draw points, lines and shapes directly onto the map. Use the drawing features in the pop-up box. You can choose how you want the point, line or shape to look in the maps by changing colours, line thicknesses or transparencies. You can include measurements by using the Show Measurements toggles. This feature allows rough measurements between 2 points or calculation of a shape's approximate area or perimeter. Any items drawn in the maps will appear when printing the maps. To delete any items drawn in the maps, simply click on the Erase button in the pop-up box. Thanks for watching this video on how to use a Plan Change 120 map viewer. For more information about Plan Change 120, visit the Auckland Council webpage or click on the link shown here.